Have you ever felt like your prayers are not going anywhere? You pray, but heaven feels silent. You attend church, but your heart still feels distant. You try to do the right things spiritually, yet something inside feels disconnected. Many believers experience this season, and often they assume something frightening. Maybe God has left them. Maybe God is far away. But the truth is something very different. Most of the time, God has not moved. Something else is blocking the connection. Today we're talking about spiritual mistakes that quietly weaken your relationship with God. Mistakes many sincere believers make, without even realizing it. And these mistakes don't just affect your spiritual life. They affect your peace, your decisions, your relationships, and even your marriage. Let's uncover them honestly. 1. Mistake 1. Substituting religion for relationship. One of the most common spiritual mistakes is confusing religious activity with spiritual intimacy. You can attend church every week. You can know Bible verses. You can serve in ministry. You can appear deeply spiritual to others and still feel distant from God. Because God did not create faith to be a routine. He created it to be a relationship. Think about any meaningful relationship in your life. Friendship, marriage, family. Those relationships grow through communication, honesty, and presence, not through routine alone. But many people approach God like a checklist. Pray quickly, attend church, read a verse, move on. Over time, spiritual practices become mechanical. Worship becomes performance. Prayer becomes repetition. And slowly, intimacy fades. God is not looking for perfect rituals. He is looking for a sincere heart. 2. Mistake 2. Unconfessed sin and compromise. Another powerful barrier between people and God is unaddressed sin. This doesn't always mean obvious wrongdoing. Sometimes the things that block our spiritual connection are subtle. Pride, hidden jealousy, secret bitterness, small compromises that slowly grow larger. The truth is this: unconfessed sin doesn't make God stop loving you, but it dulls your spiritual sensitivity. Imagine trying to listen to someone while loud noise fills the room. That's what happens spiritually when compromise goes unchecked. God still speaks, but our hearts become less able to hear Him. The solution is not shame. The solution is honesty. Real spiritual growth begins the moment a person says, "God, search my heart." And when humility enters, restoration begins. 3. Mistake 3. Holding on to unforgiveness. Unforgiveness is one of the most dangerous spiritual obstacles because it quietly poisons the heart. When someone hurts you deeply, forgiveness feels impossible. Your mind remembers the pain. Your emotions replay the moment again and again. And slowly, bitterness begins to grow. But what many people don't realize is this: unforgiveness doesn't only affect the person who hurt you. It affects you. Your peace disappears. Your joy fades. Your prayers feel heavy. Your spiritual life feels blocked. Because bitterness builds walls inside the heart. And those walls don't just separate you from people. They begin to separate you from God's peace. Forgiveness does not mean what happened was acceptable. Forgiveness means you refuse to let pain control your future. It is choosing freedom. 4. Mistake 4. Depending on people more than God. Another mistake believers often make is depending on people more than God. They depend on a spouse, a pastor, a prophet, a friend, to give them direction, validation, or peace. Human relationships are important, but they were never designed to replace God. People can support you, encourage you, pray for you, but they cannot become your source. Because when people become your foundation, disappointment becomes inevitable. People are human. They make mistakes. They fail. They misunderstand. But God remains constant. Healthy relationships grow when God is the center. When He becomes your foundation, every other relationship becomes stronger. 5. Mistake 5. Noise and distractions. Modern life is filled with noise, constant notifications, endless scrolling, non-stop entertainment. And while technology connects us to the world, it often disconnects us from God. God frequently speaks in quiet moments, moments of reflection, moments of prayer, moments of stillness. But if our lives are constantly filled with noise, we lose the ability to hear His voice. Spiritual clarity requires intentional quietness. Sometimes the most powerful spiritual decision you can make is simple. Turn off the noise, step away from distraction, and sit quietly with God. 6. How spiritual disconnection affects relationships. Here's something many couples overlook. When your connection with God weakens, your relationships begin to suffer. Spiritual emptiness often appears as impatience, anger, control, emotional distance, repeated conflicts. Because when you are spiritually empty, you begin expecting people to fill the space only God can fill, and that pressure damages relationships. But when two people maintain a strong connection with God, they bring peace, wisdom, and patience into their relationship. Spiritual health strengthens emotional health. The good news is this: no matter how distant you feel from God today, the connection can be restored. God has not abandoned you. He is still near, and restoration begins with simple steps. Return to sincere prayer. Release unforgiveness. Confess what needs healing. Create quiet time with God again. You don't need perfection. You need openness. The moment your heart turns toward God, He is already there waiting, because the greatest desire of God's heart is relationship with you. If this message spoke to you, comment, "I choose to reconnect with God," and subscribe to Relationship and Marriage 247 for more wisdom on faith, relationships, and emotional growth. Until next time, keep growing spiritually, keep healing emotionally, and keep strengthening your relationships.